I'm just gonna get into it. This week has been the hardest in a while. I grew up in a really dysfunctional home, and I guess as the oldest kid, eldest daughter type vibe, I have always just had responsibility thrown at me that I've had to kind of prepare myself for and kind of just persuade myself into, I guess. And so even when things got really bad, I was always like, okay, it's really not that bad. Like, I'm still up and moving, like I'm getting stuff done, even if it's slower or not perfect, or I'm beating myself up more than usual. Like, I don't know, I'm still up and active. But this week has been physically really difficult on me. I have been trying to lessen my dependence on my other addictions or unhealthy, harmful habits. Like, I'm not really much of a drinker. I think I said that before in a video, but I don't know. I do appreciate like mixology and bartending and just like getting good, cool cocktails. So like if I go out sometimes and like it's like a nighttime activity or I don't know, there's a bar somewhere, I get a drink. But I know that it kind of teeters into some wonky territory, and like there are times when I know that I don't really need to drink or I don't really have to necessarily, but I kind of just like just shrug it off and I'm like, it's okay, it's whatever, it's just one drink. Even though I know that sometimes I kind of use that excuse to deal with some of my social anxiety, social overwhelm of being in a large crowd or with a lot of people, or in really condensed areas and spaces like concert stadiums where you have to be really close to people next to you. And because I feel anxious about those things and end up feeling like drinking maybe curbs a bit of my anxiety, and it helps me feel in a strange way more like myself, because I don't really worry about what people are thinking or like social expectations of me, even if I'm just like out in public by myself. So I've been doing that a time or two more than I'd like to these past couple of months, just because like I don't really want to have to deal with the anxiety when I'm like making a really big effort to go out and enjoy myself in doing something. So I think like, you know, it's like a small little reward for being able to kind of just get myself out of the house. And so that's not necessarily like an addiction, but I know that it's a harmful habit that I'm not trying to like condone, I guess. I also know that like lately I've been having a hard time just like avoiding sugary foods. I think I've said it on here before. I've cut caffeine out of my life. I don't drink it anymore. It used to be a really big part of my life. For several years, I would just consume caffeine like every single day, coffee or like Pepsi, Coke, that kind of stuff. And just like, I never realized it before, but all of that was really detrimental to me and my anxiety. But because I've been going out and drinking and stuff, like I kind of slipped up. I like drank, I think, a rum and Coke like a couple of weeks ago. Well, not just one, it was a couple. That I think has affected me a little bit. So like I know that they're not huge deals for me, but I know that they're kind of like small little red flags popping up for me, that I feel like a lot of these like addictions or habits are kind of slowly trying to make their way back into my life, and I'm having a hard time kind of pushing them away because like I'm mentally and emotionally struggling right now, and so I'm trying to do things for myself as best I can, and I keep using these like little harmful habits as like rewards or something to like push me through the day and like keep me going, even though I know long term it's not really what I want to be doing, and I know it's not really helping me. I was taking Eddie's back to back like a couple of weeks ago, so I kind of slipped up a little there, which is not to beat myself up, it's just to be honest with myself and you guys that like that's what happened. But it's been 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks now, since I've technically had weed in my system, so I feel really good about that. I don't feel like I'm leaning back into that in a way. Like I don't feel like a physical need. But this last week has shown me that I just do a really good job, like a hell of a job covering up when I'm anxious, when I'm depressed, when I'm having a really hard time. And I think, I don't know, for a while, I've been like contemplating this idea of like, do I really have depression? Am I someone who's really depressed? Like, is it really just my anxiety and like all of these other comorbid mental illnesses that are like playing a part in how I feel, you know what I mean? And that's what I feel like is making me sad. Like, I wasn't 100% sold on the idea like I might be depressed or something. I think mainly because I don't like the fact that I feel like my experience with mental health and getting help with my mental health and stuff like that has been that people kind of just throw everything under the name and the guise of depression. And so like if I have other problems and other struggles that I'm dealing with, instead of being able to accurately determine and pinpoint what mental illness might be causing that, it's kind of just wiped away and like just labeled as depression, which I feel like has not helped or benefited me. A key example of this is my anxiety. For a long time, I thought I was just really depressed and like that was all that was wrong with me. But, you know, a really big part of that was that I was also really, really, really severely anxious like all of the time. And so that's what was usually depressing me, is that I'd be in these high anxiety states and then just end up crashing and burning out and feeling really depressed because my anxiety was going unresolved. And so again, like I said, for some time I've been trying to really like examine myself and like, you know, see if I feel like I am a depressed person or if I struggle with that. And this last week has shown me that like I do struggle with it. Whether or not I wholly, fully still believe I'm someone who struggles with depression, I know that it does come back for me from time to time, even if my anxiety is more present or my OCD likes to fuck up my life literally 25/8, 366 days a year. Like, it's still something that I have a really hard time with. So, like, I don't know, in a way, prove to myself that I am depressed, or like show you I'm depressed, or show myself I'm depressed, maybe as video evidence. Maybe as video evidence. You know what? Maybe that's it. Because somewhere down the line I'll probably forget what it's really like for me when I hit the lowest of lows and I'm having a really hard time in life, and I'll be like, okay, I'm anxious and I'm sad, but I'm not depressed. Or, you know, like, even if I'm sad and depressed and anxious, like, it's really not that bad. Like, I don't know, sometimes I just talk myself out of it because that's what I've been used to, because everybody else in my life has talked me out of all of my struggles. So I guess this is just video proof because my life has been a mess this week. Had some serious ideations in the last week. Have not had those in a while. Haven't showered in a week. This has been the vibe. This has been the outfit the entire week. I have not changed out of this outfit once. Not once. Struggling to make sure I eat regularly. Not using the bathroom as regularly. Homegirl is having a hard time going number 2. It's hard out here. You know, obviously, like, if I'm not eating, then nothing's gonna come out. But my room is in a constant state of chaos and disorder. But, like, it was just so hard for me to see, because I always do a really good job, like I said, of cleaning up, of covering up. So, like, even though I have laundry piling up, I'm always making sure to stuff it into my laundry basket. So, it looks normal. It doesn't look like I have shit everywhere and like I'm having a hard time. And honestly, like, it's not even like a lot of clothes necessarily, but that's because, again, I haven't changed out of this outfit in a week, and I have like this I have this like weird rule of like, or not even a rule, maybe it's like a system of rules, honestly, where like I can't wear new or clean or fresh clothes unless I've showered or I feel clean. Because I just feel gross. I don't know, I still feel gross in clean clothes sometimes, and it's harder. The more I'm struggling emotionally, the harder it is for me to kind of like override that system of thought. If I had been, I would have had more clothes piled up, and that would have stressed me out more. So I have this weird thing where like when I'm sad, I will either like hyperfixate on cleaning things a lot, or I will like leave everything to the side because all of it is just overwhelming me. For example, like I love vacuuming. I don't know, I just find it really satisfying, and I feel like things actually get clean when you vacuum stuff. I don't know, maybe just because I can see the dust getting vacuumed up. So I have vacuumed my room, I don't know, just multiple times a week to feel like it's clean in here, to feel like I'm doing something. More significantly, I have been emotionally really struggling this last week, having a lot of these obsessive and compulsive ways of thinking, modes of behavior. I keep trying to like change or like help myself get out of this rut, but like I feel so stuck that like I said, these systems of thought where like I just cannot get myself to unthink that or think in a different way because it's just so ingrained in my brain at this point. Having a really hard time, like I said, with basic hygiene, taking a shower. I hate my morning routine. When I get up, I feel like I have 30 million things to do, so it overwhelms me and I don't feel like getting out of bed. And then I end up spending 2 hours in bed procrastinating just to get out of bed, which is a horrible way to start my morning. I have this weird system of taking a shower where like because I struggle with temper regulation issues, like my body, I don't know what's wrong with my body, and the medical system isn't gonna help me, so it's whatever. But like sometimes my upper body is like one temperature and my lower body is another temperature. I struggle with burning feet a lot, so I don't like to shower with a lot of hot water, because it just exacerbates the feeling. But my house doesn't have proper insulation and it is getting to be a colder season, so it is hard to not shower in warmer water. Even if I do shower in colder temperature water, I come out and I'm freezing, and I just like that feeling is just so overwhelming for me. So a lot of sensorial problems, which is adding to my emotional distress. I have a lot of classwork piling up, having a hard time getting to class, having a hard time focusing and getting stuff done. All this, which is adding pressure and stress to me, dealing with my perfectionism, and I feel like I cannot undo it. I feel like everything I do, I have to make sure it's perfect, and it's just so hard to be like, take a shower, it doesn't have to be perfect. Clean up your room, it doesn't have to be perfect. Organize your room, it doesn't have to be perfect. Or just get out of the bed in the morning, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like things like that. It feels like everything I do feels unfinished or halfway, and it's just really hard. It's 3 p.m. I'm doing several things at once, which is not good for my health, not good for my sanity. It's overwhelming me and stressing me out, but I don't know what to do because I'm having a hard time with time management and emotional regulation. I'm doing my laundry, but I haven't eaten my first meal of the day yet. I'm trying to film this video because I have to change out of these clothes so that I can put them in the laundry, but I can't change out of my clothes because I'm filming this YouTube video right now, and I can't eat because I'm filming the YouTube video right now because I don't want to do two things at once, and I don't like talking when I eat and filming stuff, so it's stressful for me. I just feel like I can't get myself to do things. I just have like a select few hours, like from like, I don't know, 2, maybe honestly from 3 p.m. to like maybe 9 or so. I'm like, this is my active period, I have to get stuff done. But overwhelming myself and doing everything within a 6-hour period is really stressful for me because it makes it hard to take breaks, and it makes it hard to like relax and do things at a calm pace because I'm kind of like, I have to do everything right now. Even from all the things that I've learned for myself or about myself this year and all the ways that I've been trying to help myself more, I'm still gonna have bad days and, weeks like this where I'm so depressed I can't change out of a set of clothes and I can't shower and I'm eating my meals too late, and I just feel really overwhelmed and uncomfortable with the way things are going. I don't even feel good about doing the things that I normally like doing. Like I love watching Rick and Morty. I'm a big Rick and Morty fan. I haven't turned that show on in months, and I've been thinking about just like sitting down and watching it again, but like I have this system of thought in place where I'm like, okay, if I watch Rick and Morty, I should start with season 1, episode 1, and not make any mistakes and not jump around in the middle somewhere and pick an episode. Like I have to start from the beginning and watch it all the way through, and I can't get myself to logically not do that. For whatever reason, I just feel so hell-bent on that system that is in my head, and I just cannot get it to like stop or go away. And I know that with what I struggle with, that's like not uncommon. It's just, I think having this level of self-awareness, it's really hard to find a way where I can actually like work towards changing that and just do something that I like and enjoy, because it's really hard when I kind of put rules and restrictions on everything that I do, even if I don't want to do that. I think I've been trying to talk about this struggle. I don't know. Maybe I feel like it's, for some reason, maybe less believable or less authentic even to just like not do it in these current circumstances and situations. Like, I don't know why even right now, like, I have the system of thought where like I feel like if I change my outfit, like it's less authentic, or it's less real or less valid for some reason for people to understand or see my struggle. Like, logically I know that I can understand it like from afar and be like, okay, this is how I feel and this is how I think. And there's another part of me that's like, okay, I can see how that's almost illogical in that sense. And then there's just a part of me in the middle that's like struggling with which side to go to and what to do. And I just feel so unnerved and uncomfortable, and I'm not sure with how to deal with that in a timely manner. One of my, if not the biggest things that I deal with, like, I just feel like I can never catch up to time. And I can't explain it to other people in a way that makes sense to them without them telling me, like, it's okay, the clock runs out for everyone, and, you know, life is short, and you do whatever you want. Like, I physically am immobile. I cannot move because I keep thinking about the fact that the clock keeps running and the seconds keep ticking, and I'm getting nothing accomplished and I'm getting nothing done. And even when I do, I feel like I'm still not accomplishing anything or getting anything done because it's not perfect, and it's not the way I want it, and it's not the way I envisioned it, and it's not the way it looks in my head. And I don't feel like I'm getting any validation, not from other people, not from myself. I don't feel like I'm getting any kind of reward. I don't feel like I'm getting any sort of appreciation. I just feel like everything I do is pointless. And then when I don't do things, I feel like I'm just wasting my time, and I have nobody to blame but me because I'm just wasting time. Sorry, that was a bit of a ramble. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know. I'm feeling emotional. I want to like release it somehow. Crying is like the only way I know how to release it. I don't know how to release my emotions any other way. I know journaling really helps, and people say to journal a lot, but that seems like a task and a chore in of itself, because another system of thought, every time I like sit down to like write it in a book, let's say, I'm like, okay, my thoughts are churning so fast and I cannot get my hand or the pen to move faster than the thoughts in my head. And so I'm trying to write stuff down. I'm writing one sentence down, and I'm already on like sentence 2 or 3 or 4 in my head, and I can't get out fast enough, and then I'm messing up and misspelling and jumbling my words, and I get upset because I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to write. Why can't I just write words the way that I want to write them? And why can't I spell them the way I want to spell them? And why do I feel such an obligation to spell them correctly, even though this is only my writing and I'm the only one reading and seeing it? And even if I want to spell it correctly, why can't I just do it instinctually? Why does my brain have to make this a manual process where like I cannot get it right the first time through? And then like if I opt, you know, instead to just type it on my computer, because sometimes I think typing is easier and I don't have to like physically be concerned with the way my handwriting looks or how big my letters are, or the fact that like I feel like I'm not writing in a straight line, and it's just like leaving the, you know, like when you color outside of the lines or something, like that kind of feeling, except with writing. So I try to do it when I'm typing, but then I can't type fast enough because the fucking QWERTY keyboard is not meant for me, and it jumbles up my head, and every time I try to write stuff, I end up like in this really dyslexic fashion, typing letters that come after before the ones that come before, and then I'm still misspelling words, and I'm getting upset because I'm misspelling words because I'm a linguistic enthusiast, and I feel like I should be able to get words and understand words and do a good job with that, but I'm not. And when I'm journaling, even to myself, I feel like a failure because why can't I just do simple fucking things without fucking messing stuff up? I don't know. And I know that part of that is like really being hard on myself, but again, these are like innate processes that I cannot switch off. Like, turning that level of thinking off requires physical conscious effort, and I am so physically exhausted. I feel like I cannot get myself to change any of my mental processes. Every time I try really hard to like work through these really seemingly simple tasks, they can become really emotional challenges for me, because like I'm having a hard time undoing this supposed wiring in me that feels set there by default. It's just like a constant, like, I have to be really conscious and present. But what if you're just burnt out and exhausted from being conscious and present all the time? What do you do then? It's okay to have bad days and bad weeks, in that, like, this is just what it looks like for me when things get really bad and things are really hard. And I shouldn't beat myself up and I shouldn't expect perfection. And that I just have to take my time, even if I feel like I'm wasting time or I have no time. And that these subconscious processes that have existed long before me because of genetics and biology, or that have existed within my lifetime because of my predisposition to the environment that I was nurtured in, I just have to do my best. And I am a human being, and I cannot be expected to achieve this level of perfection all of the time, because I am not a fucking robot.